Alright, here we go, fellers. Today's video is just to be about the cc3d, how to flash, well, not how to flash, but how to tune your quad and get everything working the right way. I just got through reflashing the firmware back from Clean Flight to Open Pilot. So that's basically what it was. I was having some issues because I couldn't reflash them back, and I knew what I was doing. But with the new firmware they came out with, you cannot do it. You cannot reflash these bad boys back to Open Pilot from cc3d. I mean, from Clean Flight to Open Pilot, you cannot flash them back with the new firmware from Open Pilot. So I had to go back to the old version, which is 15.2.02. As you guys can see, I had to go back to that version right there in order to get the power back from my cc3d in order to flash it back in to Open Pilot. So here we go. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. I'm going to try to stick the camera here on my transmitter strap, and hopefully you guys can see the computer pretty well. Now basically what we're going to do, as you guys can see, I got all my wires ran to the receiver here. I got my white ran to the throttle cable there. The blue is ran to the aileron. The yellow is ran to the elevator. The green is ran to the rudder. The blue is ran to the gear. And the yellow is ran to the aux1. So I don't know if you guys can see that in the video right there on the camera, but that's where my wires are running to from the cc3d. And I got all the wires here on the motor right there for the motor wires connected to the cc3d from 1 on up to 4 with the signal wires up on the top pin side. Of course, you guys can see my pins are 90-degree pins and not the straight angle pins like this one and like I have on my other one. So without saying being due, let's get into it. Hopefully the camera stay close. Now I'm going to plug this in. Now once I did that, as you guys can see, I might go ahead and just take it off right here. Boom. Open Pilot picks it back up. It's flashing now. Now basically what I'm going to do is I go to Vehicle Setup Wizard. Now read that. Props and everything must be removed for proceeding. I'm going to go to next. I'm going to hit upgrade. As you guys can see, it's upgrading the bootloader here on the board. Everything went well. Now I'm supposed to update the firmware. Now once it's done updating the firmware, I will be able to move to the next step. Bootloading, erasing. Now is putting the new firmware on. Come on. And there it goes, flashing. It's updating the new firmware. Now I can push next right here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and go next. Now I'm just saying that I know what I'm doing. Open Pilot and stuff like that. Disconnect, other boards from any other devices, anything like that. Go to next. Now here is one of the things right here where you can choose what do you want to run. PWM, which is what I'm running right now, which is a receiver with all the cables, or you can be running PPM, which is the one cable, kind of like your S-bus system as you would run for your helicopter. For you Futaba guys, you can run S-bus, and for satellite, for the DSS, for the Spectrum satellite DSSM, you can run the one cable too, just like your S-bus if you want to run that. But I'm going to select PWM because I'm running a receiver with all the wires. Now I'm going to select multi-rotor because you can select wing. Of course, you ain't gonna be able to do that for the helicopter and car surfaces. So I'm gonna go back to multi-rotor, click next. All right, now this basically was telling me the directions that I need to put the motors in, that they need to spin. As it always, like I tell a bunch of people, see right here, an open pilot motor 1 is right here, but within clean flight it switches the direction, the motor directions around, which this would be your number 1 motor right here, which is in clean flight. So it's basically the same. It's, you know, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's basically what it'd be in clean flight. So it's the same way, your motors are going the same direction. Now right here, this is the deal where you can choose for your ESCs. If you guys got Simon K ESCs, BO Heli ESCs, you can actually run either one of those because the system will pick up, and that's why it can shows you can select either one of these ESCs. The reason being is because, like I say, the system lets you pick it up. It picks it up which kind of ESCs that you are running, that you have in your system. So before, it only lets you use standard ESCs, which basically is, like I say, standard. But now we have all these different types of ESCs. Now, with all these, like I say, with all this different power and firmware, and you can see, like with mine right here, I'm running Lumineers, so I can choose rapid ESCs or I can use standard, which is the same thing. So I'm going to click next. As you guys can see, it's going to go to this. Next. Now, you want to have this thing on a flat surface because it's going to calibrate the whole system. Is what it's going to do. But as you guys can see, I do not have mine. Turn my little light on right here. You guys can see I do not have mine on the standoff, the plastic standoffs right here. Reason being because I have my Naze 32 on there. And that's what I'm saying. This is actually a flip 32, guys. Same thing as the Naze 32, just a lot cheaper. Do the same thing and everything. Barometer, you like kind of like almost somewhat GPS, makes it a lot stable and everything. But anyway, I'm going to keep my board right there. I'm going to hit calculate. It's going to calculate and receive everything. Once that's done, it'll be able to let me go on to the next step. It's going to be a good little video, guys, so you guys got to stick with me. So it's going to, it says done. Now I can move on to the next step. Now, this is a big issue, guys, right here, because this step right here performs the calibration of your ESCs. You have to pay attention to this step right here and listen to the beeps of when it's going to eliminate from here from the quad. So I'm going to have to probably put my phone back on my
system idle.
My neck here, so you guys can be able to see it while I'm have to connect the battery and everything else in. And see, it tells you go through the steps right here. It says remove all props from the motors in any vehicle. The vehicle is not powered on by any external source except for the USB. So do not have your battery plugged in at any time, guys, until you get to this step right here, because this is going to take the steps for calibrating your ESCs right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my phone here. Now I'm going to select this, and this. Now I can collect start. I push start. Guess what? You hear that? And that's what you need to do. Now you see that? It just stopped. It confirmed. It calibrated all my ESCs, and I'm at 900 US. Now this is the point to where you can leave your battery plugged in for the next step. Now we go on to this next step. Now this is where it's going to get very important that you do. Now this is the point to where you need to select. I'm going to click start. You want to click it to where you have the motors running. Evidently my motors ain't running because I must have something backwards here on my deal here. So looks like my signal, my ground, and everything like that's all the right way. I'm gonna go to the next one. But yeah, here, guys, you're supposed to creep up just a little bit until you hear the motor start to spin. Once, because I'm not getting any spin at all whatsoever. But once you hear the motors spin up a little bit, you want to stop it like that. click stop, go to the next one, start, bring it up to the same value as the other one till you hear that motor spin. You want to click stop. As you see, values are changed right here that I'm having. Number 4, click start, go until you hear that bad boy going. Then you want to click stop, and therefore you move on to the next deal. Once you move on, you have to figure out what settings you're going to put into this bad boy. We'll see, with this being, mine is an actual Lumineer QAV 250. I could actually go down here to QAV 250, and it's going to tell me the kind of motors that I'm running, which is the exact same motors that I have on here, which is the 1806 14 pole 2300 kV motors. And I'm running 12 amp ESCs. So I'll go ahead and click that, and basically what it's going to do is going to save those settings into my quad. Now, if you guys don't have a QAV, you can go down to the ZMR, but you have to make sure you find the actual settings for your quad of the motors that you have in the ESCs. If you're running 2300 kV motors, you need to find down here where it says, oh, here go one right here, the ZMR 250 with Mobius, which is the Sunny Skies 2204 2300 kVs and HK 10 amp BOLE ESCs. You want to find the one, and there go one with the Chinese clone, which is the 1806 motors with the same motors as these, which is the slim 20 amp ESCs that you get from Banggood. Now you can click that, or you just, like I say guys, you go to the one that kind of suits you best. Most of them go to the Blackout Mini, which is a 2204 2300 kV motors, but those are Cobras. Like I said, you just want to find the one that usually suits you perfectly, that has like this one right here from Hobby King stock, which got the 2204 2300 kV motors and 12 amp ESCs. You want to go to click next, but I'm gonna go back to my QAV 250. I'm going to click next, save. And it's saving everything to my board and everything. So everything's safe. You hear that? All ESCs just calibrated. And now I can actually start my motors. I should be able to start my motors after I do the transmitter calibration. So you want to go there, but actually you shouldn't have went to finished. I should have went to the calibration, the vehicle calibration. I'm sorry guys, but like I say, I can usually go back into there and go to all these other settings right here. And this is where I can go to the vehicle setup wizard right here and calibrate my transmitter. I don't want to go to the vehicle setup wizard. I want to do my transmitter settings, and this is where you can choose of what you want to use to arm the quad, y'all right, y'all left, or whatever like that. And this is the inputs I was talking about right here, WC, and some of you guys, to where the motors are different. See how the input I got on these motors? Basically what you would have to do, you would have to go in here and select, click it, and bring that value up and have each motor to where they all will be starting the same speed. Like right there, I'm bringing that value up right there to 50. See that? They all going up to 57. And that lets me know right there that all my motors will start at the same time. I will not have to worry about anything. The maximum input in travel is 1900. The minimum input is 1000. So I would save, and you hear my little motors twitch, so it'll let me know the savings and inputs has been confirmed. But yeah, and that's basically what you do guys. You go in here and enter your yaw and your roll. Basically, if you don't have your flight controller like this, you would want to put 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees on your yaw, and that's basically telling the flight controller, the firmware, that your flight controller is pointing straight, even though you got it turned to the right there where your USB is coming out on the side right there, to where you can actually get to it easier. instead of it being this way, which is kind of hard to get to when you got everything on the frame, guys. So notice it's a 15-minute video, but this is an important video, guys, something that you guys need to know. But like I say, I didn't get to the deals right here, so I can go to right here to start my transmitter setup. Right here, guys, is where I can go and start my transmitter. So I'm gonna go to next. Now here is the important thing. It's telling me to center all sticks inputs. So once I center everything on my stick, I'm going to click next. Now it's telling me, do I want to have it in mode 1 or mode 2, which is, I use mode 2, which is throttle and rudder on the left and elevator and ailerons on the right. So you click that, and it's basically telling me to move my stick on the inputs, and it's basically seeing the movement of the inputs of me moving my stick. And go down, and I'm gonna go up, and now I have to move this one right here, left and right. And once I do, now it's telling me to move my flight switch.
Flight mode 3, flight mode 1, flight mode 2,
and once I got that done, basically you don't have to do all that, but if you want to use all those, I just usually click skip. Now telling me push all trims and everything in the center, even the flight mode switch. Everything's in neutral position. Click next. Now I need to move my sticks in the mimic of here. As you guys can see, I'm moving my hand around, and look at there. I got movement there. Put it back in neutral. Now I'm going to do the same for the other. And you guys can see I'm going counterclockwise, and it's going the opposite direction, so I'm going to have to reverse that channel. Now, flight mode. Look at there. Got that going, guys. Sorry, this is a long video, guys. But now I need to do reversing the channels here in the firmware. So I know I'm moving down. Down is going up on here. Left and right, that's right. So now, oh, see that? Uh-oh. So I need to reverse my roll. Or the pitch need to be reversed. Pitch, now I'm going up. It's going up. I'm going down. It's going down. Now I'm going left. I mean right. It's going right. Left. And I'm going left. Now, usually you would have to do the yaw, but I don't have to do that. So it's only one that I have reversed. So that's it right there. I'm going to go to next. Now I have completely completed it. Now I can move my sticks, make sure everything moving, my stick movement and everything. So I don't have to worry about anything. Flight mode's working. Now I can click on next. And now this is the part where I can say I like to use mine to where I arm it, pushing to the right to arm it, and push it to the left to disarm. So I'm going to select yaw right. And usually what happens when you click save, it'll say armed.
Armed.
And there she go. Look at that. Now I got all movement. All motors are actually calibrated, guys. There's no stutter from anything. If you do the things right, like I did in this video, you will have successful flight. Program is done. Thanks for watching.